Today, our guest is Mr. Jonibek. He recently achieved an overall score of 8.5 in IELTS exam with an 8 in speaking section. Mr. Jonibek is a teacher at the IELTS Educational Center and will be interviewing with him about his speaking skills. Let's start. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
So, do you work or are you a student?
Well, I'm a teacher now, currently. I've been working for the last 10 months, and yeah, I teach, that's it.
So, do you like your job?
Well, sometimes I do, but sometimes I don't. That usually depends on how I'm spending the day and what's happening, you know.
Would you like to change your job in the future?
Absolutely no. No. I'm a teacher. I'm like a couple of years ago, I decided that I was meant to be a teacher, so that's it. I'll stay here in teaching field forever. Like.
Okay, so let's start from part one questions.
Okay.
So, do you like art?
This again, sometimes I do, sometimes I don't, because I really love listening to classical music like Beethoven, Mozart, or let's say Vivaldi in that case. But I'm not that much into Rembrandt or paintings and drawings.
Nice. So, do you think that art classes are important?
Well, I don't think so. I believe so, because art makes students look at life from a different angle. It gives it like kind of enforces their critical thinking and creativity skills, which will benefit them like to a great extent when they grow up and when they work. And in today's like competitive world, they have to be very creative. So yes.
So, who is your, who are your favorite artists?
As I mentioned earlier, I really love pianists like Beethoven, like composers, and sometimes I listen to Yanni, if you know him, and sometimes, but Beethoven, Mozart, Yanni, yeah, these guys are all-time favorite for me.
Okay, so let's talk about animals. Do you have a pet at home?
No, I work full-time, about 12 hours a day, so I don't have time to take care of that. But if I had, I would really want it to be a cat.
Okay, so would you like a different pet in the future?
A cat would work fine, but nothing else. No birds, no dogs, or hamsters, or no. I really love cats, but in the future, if I have time, I'm going to adopt one.
Okay, so do you prefer cats or dogs?
Cats, 10 out of 10 times. I mean, they are cute. They kind of, when they purr, it's kind of fuzzy and makes me kind of, let's say, interested about them, excited about them. But dogs, no. They make a lot of trash and everything. They pollute the atmosphere and where they live. So no to dogs. Never.
Okay, so let's talk about reading. How often do you read books?
Well, books, as far as I think, the last time I read a book was a couple of years ago. Yeah, nowadays I read like articles, reading passages, or some posts online, but no like paper books, no, none.
Okay, so what book would you recommend to a friend to read? Like,
Wow, a book to recommend. There is this book called what was it? Was it? It should be Ship or Kema in Uzbek. That's very kind of thought-provoking, and it gives you this kind of it questions our existence on Earth and forces you to find your real purpose of existence. And I think that book should be should be available in everyone's bookshelf. Yeah, I would recommend that, and you may as well read it.
okay, thank you. So, do you prefer to read ebooks or paper books?
I would love paper books, but now I can't. Paper books, they have this sensation, you can feel it, and they are kind of more healthier compared to ebooks because of the radiation and harm to the eye and everything ebooks carry. And another benefit would be that you kind of feel nostalgic when you're reading a paper book.
Okay, so let's talk about photography. So who do you normally take photos of?
My students, most of the time. Yeah, really. Because sometimes they do perform greatly and do a good job, and I have a habit of collecting those moments and presenting them as a slideshow when they're graduating to review back all their journey.
So do you ever put any of your photos in the frames?
No, no. Uh, I don't think why someone would do that. Yeah, there may be some reasons behind that. You can look at them, you can always keep them in mind, but instead I put my loved photos as a background to of my laptop or my let's say smartphone.
Okay, so when you are on holiday, so do you prefer to send postcards or photos?
I never send postcards, but I sometimes take photos. I mean, they give you a chance to relive that moment. So yeah, photos, because postcards, you can find postcards virtually from everywhere, but photos are they're real, they're authentic. You cannot recreate that photo again. So postcards, they're like temporary, but photos will stay forever. You can look at them, remember how you spent the time, all the things you went through, and refresh a little bit.
Okay, thank you. This is the end of the part one.
Thank you.
Let's move on to part two. So here is your topic. You have 1 minute to think about, and this is your pen.
Okay, thank you.
So let's start. Okay, stop. Your time is up.
Okay.
So ready?
Yeah.
Let's start.
So during this couple of minutes, I try to describe an author that I really love and would really enjoy meeting in the future. So as I said, I'm not a book lover, but when I do read some books, I prefer them to be of great quality. And this author, George Orwell, to be exact, is a world-renowned and a kind of an artist of its kind, and his most famous works are 1984 and Animal Farm. The Animal Farm is about 100 of pages, and it really took me literally more than 9 months to read and absorb all the information, metaphors, and a figure of speech in this book. It was so deep, so dense in meaning, and it kind of shows you the real world, how our politicians, how the world around us works, and what kind of deep dark secrets we have. And when I read it for the first time, I was really taken aback. I was shocked how someone can depict the true colors of our nature, or of our, like, let's say, human beings in a concise way so perfectly. There he used pigs as politicians and other animals as ordinary people, and it was so meaningful, so provocative. I was like kind of like taken aback, and I was in this zone. I kind of dived into the rabbit hole and forgot all about all the other things that happening around me when I was reading this book. And when I met him, I want to ask how he did it. I mean, that's virtually impossible to combine all of these and create a masterpiece. And having like face-to-face and like interview experience would be a great dream come true.
Okay, thank you very much.
No
So
problem.
let's talk about part 3 questions. So what kind of books are most popular with children in your country?
Well, I wouldn't pigeonhole preferences based on the age, because throughout my career I have seen some children reading like political, historical novels and romance and everything. But you also come across some adults who really love like trashy romance, or who really love science fiction and others. So, but generally speaking, in Uzbekistan nowadays, most people, most youngsters love realism, and most adults would prefer to read self-development and also religious books.
Okay, thank you. So why do you think that some children don't read very often?
Don't read very often. Well, that is the direct effect of social media. Because with their short videos, like 1 minute videos, YouTube and TikTok revolutionized the way we perceive and receive information. Yeah, it has been proven that they have got like very adverse effects on people's attention span. They've reduced it up to about 75%, and that's why now, because since reading requires like patience, sitting down to one place and kind of devoting yourself into it, most people don't have it in them. Nowadays they prefer going through some 15-second reels instead.
Okay, so let's talk about reading for different purposes. So do you think that speed reading is a useful skill to have?
Speed reading.
Yeah.
When you, as far as I'm concerned, when you're speed reading, oh, this is the case with me, I get to like miss a lot of information, useful stuff. That's why I don't find it very useful. But to others, it may be of great help and assistance to improve their reading skills, to improve their like oral skills, but not for me.
Okay, so some people believe that reading novels is more interesting than reading nonfiction. Why do you think that?
This one like differs from person to person. Some may be interested in the way how characters evolve from the beginning of the novel, and how they like at the climax, when they go through a bunch of stuff and like problems and everything, and how the author ends it. It is kind of you can read someone's whole life when you're reading a novel. But when it comes to, you said science fiction, right?
Yeah.
Science fiction,
Non-fiction.
non-fiction, they may find it boring, because non-fiction usually like just consists of factual information. And some people may find it boring, others find it very useful and insightful. So that really depends on person and their expectation of what they are going to receive from reading.
Okay, so recently many bookshops have had to close because of the competition from online bookstores. Like, do you think that is the good things or a bad thing?
Well, I don't think that's either a good or a bad thing, because from a business standpoint, they may be bad for the like bookshop owners, but from a neutral standpoint, when there is competition, there is also growth. So books now need bookshoppers now need to find the ways to compete with their e-versions, e-counterparts. So we may have some kind of revolution or development in the way we buy or sell and read books, not in the format, but in the paper books as well. It may lead to the reduction of the cost, and also we may have better quality books in the future. So to some it's bad, for me it's good.
Okay, thank you very much.
My
I
pleasure.
really like your speech, your thoughts, your ideas, and wide variety of vocabularies.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay.